Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the geeks out there in our little geekdom, and welcome to another Monday night stream where we talk geek and bullshit, as you guys know. This is what we do. Anyway, we've got some awesome guests here. Chewns is not one of them, and neither is Kez. They're always here, so you can't count them.
We're part of the furniture here.
I can barely hear Chewns, but that's probably on my side. But the two guests we have here today are Carel and Mandy from Fountaints. Say hello.
Hello.
Awesome. So yeah, thought we'd just mention that. Obviously, we've got, as you guys know, we have guests every single every day. I mean, come on, every Monday we have new guests, and the new guests are going to be talking about their favorite thing, which is cosplay. Kez's favorite subject as well,
And geeky events and
some
things.
geeky events that are coming up, and more than likely Star Trek and the starship that Carel is the captain of now. We're going to actually have a word about that as well. I'm going to talk to him about that. So just because. And the cool hat that he's wearing. But we'll talk about that later. Anyway, Kez, take it away.
It's like adds topics, hey? We had like this whole list. Oh, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. Don't mind the fact that we're going against load shedding time because Chewns might be load shedded it. So if you lose him, just a heads up.
Yeah, if it suddenly changes into stage 2, then we have a problem. But stage 1, it should be fine.
Same with us. If we hit stage 2, I think we all.
But it's a for in case.
Yeah, you never know. This is South Africa. You can get hit with anything.
You'll get load shed just because.
Yeah, like a lion might just jump through the window. You don't know. Like.
No, now you're giving people the wrong thought. They'll think lions roam the street. Okay, granted they do sometimes, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, but that's accidental, though. And
yeah, that's when they escape like a game farm or something.
Like a zoo, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so first topic, we'll stick to our list. Now I forgot.
That's why there's a list. It helps you remember.
Lists are good, though.
Exactly.
I'm looking for it.
Are you list for lists, Karen? I think not.
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Ooh! The list of the cons. You guys can chat to us about the cons that are coming up and WCS that's part of the RAND show and all those things. And go.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of cons that's happening. Obviously, we've got all the small cons like the Viking thing that's coming up in 7th of March. And then they'll have the Medieval Fair, all of those. Then the big one is... RAND show in April. It's from the 8th to the 13th. WCS is taking place, or at least for the public anyways, is going to be on the 12th. That's when skits are happening, is on that Sunday. And that's, we were going to enter, unfortunately, time and money and all the rest of it. We're not going to be able to do it this year. We're going to have to do it for next year, but we've got some awesome cosplayers like Malkami and Chia that are entering. Mikashino and Arlene from last year are entering again. So there's quite a good lineup of entries for it. Well, I mean, do the listeners even know what WCS is, though? Okay, so WCS, for those who don't know, is basically the Olympic Games of cosplayers. Takes place in end of July in Japan. This year, they're actually going to be included in the Olympics, which is pretty cool.
What? That is pretty cool.
Yeah, they're including them in the Olympics this year.
This is news to me.
So
cosplay is officially a sport.
Well, technically, I don't think it's counting as a sport. I think it's more just they're putting it there as part of the showcase. So, for instance, with WCS, you've got your Tokyo round, and that, which is the first round where they come out, they show their costumes off, and then you get, like last year, and that we actually, Kimpatsu's team came through straight to the finals. So your top 5 then goes straight to the finals of WCS, and I suspect, we don't know yet, but I suspect that it will be very similar to that, as the Tokyo round will then take place at the opening of the Olympic Games itself. Because the only information that we've been fed so far is that they will be involved in the Olympic Games.
Okay.
And it is Butler and Yama that will be there this year. So that's all pretty exciting. Then the next ones that's coming up will be Cape Town Comic Con.
They've merged with FanCon.
No, they're not.
I don't think so.
I also thought of it, but apparently FanCon is happening now in July, and Cape Town Comic Con is happening May 1st to the 3rd. Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, they swapped their days around because Comic Con wanted those dates, and then FanCon had to move or something like that.
There was a lot of confusion over it. I'm still not 100% sure what exactly went on. And I mean, you know how rumors spread so freaking quickly because, oh no, well, therefore this must have happened and that must have happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, what we know for sure is that we've got Comic-Con Cape Town 1st to 3rd of May. That's during, Free Comic Book Day. And then FanCon has moved to the 4th and 5th of July. So, I mean, there's still a decent enough separation that both cons can happen and people can actually experience them nicely. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Rage and Comic-Con Africa, because we still got the problem of they're at least better spaced this year than what they were last year. But you've got Rage happening 4th to the 6th of September and Comic-Con from the 24th to the 27th. So it's still, at least you can sort of pace them out with your paychecks, but not a lot of, or at least for the cosplayers and that's not a lot of time to create new cosplays.
And also, you can't, like, if you're traveling from afar, you're not going to be able to do it so separately. The only reason why I was able to do Rage and Comic-Con last year was because it was so close together. Now I have to choose because I can't travel twice in a month. I can't afford that. I can't take a whole month off either. But yeah, from your guys' perspective, it's better, I would suspect, because then you're able to like get more merchandise and stock and stuff like that for each one instead of being stuck with maybe Rage you don't have as much, or you can't afford to have a stall or something like that. So
I mean, that was our big problem last year, is that it's okay, well, yeah, we can stand at both Comic-Con and Rage, but the problem is if we end up selling out at Comic-Con, which we had done the year before, so if we ended up selling out at Comic-Con, we had less than a week, in fact 3 days, in which to have enough stock for Rage. And I mean, Rage's prices and that, it's not bad, but we need to be able to make back our table, and trying to make that amount of stock just to be able to break even.
Not worth it.
No, it wasn't going to.
Would you have not been able to like plan earlier, like to try and get stock for like both of them from like an earlier time? Or is that just too difficult to do?
Comic-Con exceeds our expectations every year. Like last year, we sold out almost on the first day.
Yeah.
And we had triple the amount we normally have for Rage, so it's
just not possible. Yeah. So it's way more worth it for you to have a stall at Comic-Con than anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more feet at Comic-Con, so it makes sense.
That's very interesting because it's in more ways than one. Comic-Con is like disrupting all the other cons around it. And it's interesting what is happening because like now the middle, I would suspect the middleman, or like in video game terms, like AA type of cons will start falling away, and you don't get the really big cons like Comic-Con, and then you get like small gatherings that happen That's what I foresee happening, and that's what's starting to happen this year. A lot of medium-sized cons just not happening this year. Icon Durban cancelled.
Well, I mean, Geekfest isn't happening this year at all. It's been moved to next year. There are other factors with it, with people apparently moving over and selling, and I'm not sure of the entire story, so I don't want to speak too much about it. But I mean, I know that for certain because I did double check with them. Geekfest isn't happening this year at all. Icon Durban was cancelled. Ooh, what happened to my computer?
Blue screen of death. You guys are still alive, so that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, Icon Durban was cancelled as well. I'm not entirely sure what's happening with Icon Joburg, whether they're going to be merging with the Rand show, whether they're doing something separate. They haven't announced anything yet, so we're still waiting to see on that.
I'd be disappointed if they merge, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, look, ultimately, I mean, with Comic-Con coming in, the cons have one of two choices. Step up your game or get out of the pool.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
But in what way, when you say step up your game, like, what do you mean? Like, what would they need to do?
Well, I mean, you know, Comic-Con's coming with huge guests. They are a huge con. It is difficult to compete with them. But I mean, for instance, for something like Rage needs to focus on what Rage is all about, which is really awesome gaming. They need to, you know, bring out the people that will bring out the gamers. I mean, it's a difficult one because it's like you need money in order to do it, and yeah.
That's to say that it's not going to just. I mean, gaming is not going to just die. As long as Rage takes back some of the stuff that they've lost, they should be. That's saying that they can actually take them back.
So from obviously a cosplayer and a vendor's side of things, because you guys are both, so we can ask you both like a double whammy question, which is pretty cool. With the fact that there are so many cons dying, not dying, but vanishing, the little cons like Icon Durban and Geekfest and things like that, where does it put you guys? Is it, I know obviously you guys said it's sometimes a good thing, but is it a good thing that there's less? Is it a bad thing? Is it
how is it affecting you?
Yeah,
as vendors, I'd say it's actually a good thing.
Yeah, because they're a lot more prepared. There's a lot more advertising going into it, so you'll get more feet. For cosplay thing, obviously you get less chance to actually cosplay, but you get more time to work on your cosplays, and we'll get better quality cosplays out of it.
That is pretty interesting. I didn't think of it that way. Well, the vendor side I kind of get. The cosplay side, I've spoken to a few cosplayers about cancel stuff, and they're actually really happy that they don't have to like either make new cosplays because there's less to do, or they just have time. So it's a very interesting dynamic that's going on, because like 10 years ago, we had a separate issue. There wasn't enough to go to. There wasn't enough, actual meetings and gatherings. I don't know about. I'm sure it was a bit different for Joburg, but Durban was pretty empty, and I didn't find out about things till pretty late. Icon Durban, I think, is only 5 years old, and there's nothing this year. It's just a very rapid shift, and I think it's because like Comic-Con is so commercialized and had built up their brand overseas and then expanded throughout the world, that they can so easily just take up a market, which is it's worrying in some ways, but it's cool in other ways, especially when it comes to like getting big guests down and stuff like that otherwise just wouldn't be here. So it's a very interesting turn of the tide.
Yeah, and even when you're talking about Comic-Con and the price that they're offering for the cosplayers, and that it's a massive incentive. The winners, or the ultimate winner of Comic-Con, gets to go over to America and compete in C2E2. So, I mean, that is one hell of an incentive. And I mean, Cape Town Comic-Con, the way they're handling it is it's a sort of a prelim for the Comic-Con Africa event. So what they're basically going to be doing is if you end up winning at Comic-Con Cape Town, they're paying for your tickets to fly you up to Joburg so that you can be at Comic-Con Africa to compete up here.
Okay.
And that just in itself...
they're creating a machine.
Yeah.
So I would expect that they're going to just keep expanding. And not just like maybe even getting to Durban at some point.
And they've got the finances to back them. That's the big thing.
Yeah, they know how to market. They know how to set up. They know how they have access in the first place to these celebrities.
Well, for the first Comic-Con, their marketing budget was 6 figures.
Yep,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Way above. Yeah.
Yeah. They just bring. Well, the good thing is that they bring in money into the country, which is cool.
Well, are they really though? They're bringing a little bit of money into the country, but I think moreover they're actually just incentivizing people to build around our economy and actually make it strong.
Yeah.
Your economy. Sorry.
Well, I mean, it's inherently creating jobs as well, and like people like Fountaints can put up their stand and make money. So it is technically it's adding to the economy and bringing money in.
That's exactly what you guys need, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, it's these big cons, or specifically like Comic-Con, is really concerned about the smaller creators and crafters, which is why they've specifically got not only the artist alley but the block for us. And they put it at really affordable prices. So, I mean, I'm not paying, freaking 10 grand to go and stand at a table. I'm now paying a decent amount that I know I can win. I win back. Yeah, this is a lottery.
Yeah, and
you can make back. Yeah.
For those of you, and for those of you who are watching us right now, and for those of you who are watching us on at a later stage, Comic-Con was actually great last year, contrary to what some content creators have said. No, it's none of you guys here. But Geekoscopy remembers the dude we're talking about who went in for 5 minutes and said, "Oh, there's nothing to say."
At Comic-Con.
At Comic-Con, yeah.
I wished Comic-Con was 8 days long because I didn't have enough time to see everything that I could.
I don't think any of us
I would have died. I would have died at the end of those 8 days, but then I would have got to see what I wanted to see.
Yeah, well, how sore were your feet after that, though?
Dead.
I had feet.
Exactly.
I had to have 2 funerals for them. And it was a sad occasion.
And of course, Carel and Mandy also know what it's like because they had to stand the entire time.
Yeah. Like us who have a media lounge where we could go and sit and lie down for a little bit. Yeah. They were standing for most of the time.
But granted, I mean, the whole thing is that everyone always says, I remember we got like dirty looks from people when we walked in because we went through the media area to get through the doors and stuff like that, and people gave us the most dirty looks because why do we get to go into the media lounge and why can't or into the media entrances and stuff like that, and why do we just get to pass all the queues? It's like, well, we do a job as well. It's like the reason why you guys get
doing it right now.
We do what we're doing right now, except that we do it on a larger scale. So, and I don't like it when people actually take shots at for example, content creators and cosplayers and people like that, because they get to go through places where the I don't know how you call them, the normal people don't get a chance to do it.
The general public.
Yeah, exactly. The general public. That's it. Like I mean, if it wasn't for you guys as cosplayers and as vendors busy creating the stuff that they could buy, they wouldn't have anything to actually look forward to go in there, firstly. And secondly, to people who've never been there before, they won't be able to see it if they don't have people like Kez, myself, and Mr. Chewns hiding over there. The videos that we actually show off, we do it. It actually hurts us too. We all actually have to suffer together to make good content for everyone else.
Yeah.
And what they don't see is like you guys who go to the con and for 4 or 5 hours afterwards have to edit this videos to make
Oh,
it
yeah.
watchable.
Yeah.
4 or 5 is
Let's
conservative
not talk about
number,
it.
Carel, please.
Yeah, you see, Kez does most of the editing and whatnot. I'm just the face. Because the last time I've explained
I'm
this so
saying
many
that
times.
because Chewns and I are in the same boat here. We have no time to edit. That's why I'm
No.
saying let's
I
not
still
talk about
have-
it.
Yeah,
I still have
Yeah.
all my
This
footage
is-
from Connect that I haven't touched yet because I don't have time.
but you see, there's the thing, though. You know, people are like, yeah. Some people say, oh, why does Kez do all the editing and whatnot? It's because she deleted the last video I was editing, saying it wasn't good enough. So I was like, well, you know what? Then you can just do the editing. You can just do the editing.
Anyway.
This is like the
Simple
third
as
time I'm
that.
hearing the story now.
I will never stop saying it because you know what? It's the truth. I get what people say. The truth is, she deleted my video and I was pissed off and I said, I'm not doing it.
Okay, we're not having this argument on stream. Anyway, question for Carel because he's so quiet. Since you guys are so happy with the way things are going now with not happy, like yay happy, but you have more time to prepare and things like that. Going back to Chewns' point where he said like 10 years ago we were saying there's not enough cons.
Yeah.
How would you feel if this streak or whatever you want to call it continues where the cons keep disappearing and disappearing? Would you be fine with it or upset? Or well, it's a question for both of you, but I'm trying to get him to talk a bit more.
I don't talk a lot normally. No,
He's
bad
aloof.
with the smaller ones because every small con also has, like Icon, it's been the board game con for years. To lose that would be extremely sad. So you're going to lose
Yeah.
a lot of it. But with the bigger guys coming in, it also opens up the doors for people for, okay, well, let's do this con because they didn't do it at Comic-Con. So it'll open up, hopefully, people to the ideas of, well, as Starfleet, let's make a sci-fi in the middle of the winter. And everyone can dress up because that's
Yeah.
what we focused on in Comic-Con and FanCon and those places.
Yeah, that's what I would like to happen as well. Like very niched, very focused conventions where you go for like one thing. Like if you just go for tabletop, or you just, like you said, just go for sci-fi, or you just go for fantasy, or you just
Yeah, I
go
think
for
the-
gaming and nothing else, which is what we think Rage should be. I think that's the only way they can be able to compete because Comic-Con is trying to do a lot of things at once. It's not necessarily true that they can do any one thing really good, except maybe get foreign celebrities.
Yeah, but I think South Africa's got one problem.
Celebrity.
Yeah, I think South Africa's got one problem though. They put too much on too quickly. They get way ahead of themselves, and that's where the shit starts to actually hit the fan. When they start, doing too many things at once. And like Comic-Con, they're starting to add way too much stuff to the show, and it's going to start bloating the show, and then people are going to start getting uninterested, and they're going to stop going, and you know how that turns out.
Look, I mean, it's still in its infancy, so things still need to sort of settle out. They still need to find exactly where they're going. The rest of the cons need to figure out where they're going with this. As I said, they need to step up or get out. And, I mean, we'll see in the next 3 years, I think, where exactly everything is settling.
Well, let's just hope Icon returns to what it used to do, and Rage actually returns to what they used to do, because then everything will be pretty much balanced in that.
Yeah, and hopefully some people actually do start up more cons.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a lot
silence.
of dead air, so let's go on to the next topic.
Next topic. Okay, so it's actually pretty cool that all of us are on here because we're all part of it in some way and we all started at the same place. So for those of the people who are watching and who will be watching and everyone else, all four of us are, all four of us. Counted 5 for some reason. All 4 of us.
There are 5 of us.
It's been a rough week for Kaz. Okay, give her a break. Yeah.
And thanks for name dropping there, Angela. I do appreciate always being doxed.
Anyway, so the 5 of us are part of SFI, and obviously Chewns is still part of the Dauntless, and we
Dauntless,
broke off and did the Omnis. You guys can tell us more about that as well.
That's
Gonna
where
ask a
he's
quick-
I think you should explain the whole thing first before you get into the Dauntless.
Okay, yeah, explain
let's
it
just-
first.
Okay, so essentially this is how it works. Before they start talking about the Omnis, right? SFI is Starfleet International. Starfleet International is a bunch of fans of Star Trek, basically. To put it in a more basic term, it's fans of Star Trek. All right, they got together many, many years ago and started this whole fan association just to, pay homage to Star Trek. It blew up, it exploded, it became something huge. It's now, they have conventions every year in almost every country, including the one that Kez and myself are in. There is actually a convention coming up soon for SFI here, so we have to go to it. Yeah.
This is the first time Kez is hearing about it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's because she doesn't do her research and she doesn't go onto the SFI website like I do. So again, who should be promoted here? Who's actually doing more research than the other? Yeah. Anyway, that's beside the point. Okay. So essentially, what happened was Kez and myself joined a chapter in South Africa. Now South Africa being the 8th Fleet, as far as I know. And basically, the chapter was called the USS Dauntless, named after the Dauntless from Pirates of the Caribbean, which was actually a very clever design for it. I thought that was very funny. We stayed with it thanks to Carel and Mandy over there. They actually helped us join the Dauntless and actually make all of that work. We then invited, obviously, Chewns, who is actually going quite far in the Dauntless.
He's chief of communications, as far as I
the
know.
regional chief of communications.
Comms officer or something along those lines.
Regional chief of communication.
Yeah, he's like hectic.
Haven't really started working for that, but that's what I am. That's what I do.
And then obviously Carel and Mandy split off and created their own chapter for the Gauteng region of South Africa, and that is the USS the Pretoria, to be exact, because they haven't launched the other ship for Gauteng region yet. So it's just one, which is the USS Omnis. At the moment, it is only NX, but it's I believe the shakedown is almost done. Eh?
We've got
Talking now, so I can speak.
shakedown.
How many months left of the shakedown?
Less than 3.
Less than 3. And this is from obviously all the work that everyone's done. All right, so now it's your turn to explain the Omnis, the name, how it came about, and how the ship came.
First, Chewns, what made you decide to join the Dauntless?
The Dauntless. Well, it was you guys.
That's our fault.
It's your fault. But I like the whole idea about it. It's for one, it's a fan association, but it's a Starfleet style fan association. So there are ranks and duties, quote unquote, that you perform on their ships. Each chapter has a ship designation, so you know like who is there with you. So it's very, I feel it's a fan club that is more, it brings together more camaraderie than just being like on a Facebook group or whatever, because it's so this activities and the interactions are way more meaningful. So I just like joined on a whim because you guys had joined and you guys were talking so much about it. But once I got in, I got really into actually and doing activities. Actually doing activities. I'm a big TNG fan. I love Star Trek TNG. But I haven't watched much of the other stuff, but I'm getting through it. I'm getting through Voyager. I watched Star Trek Enterprise, I think it was called, first. I think most people don't like
that must have been so disappointing.
No, I liked
Enterprise
it.
first.
I didn't have any other reference, because I don't like the original series. Like, I don't
But
know
you had
whether-
TNG to go on. I mean, even that was better than Enterprise.
TNG is the best. I love TNG. But
DS9
I wanted to
than
throw my
than
remote at the
MC
original
Enterprise.
series. The cinematography in that was terrible. But it's probably because, like, I watched it so late in my life that I'm like, why are you focusing on this one character for 10 seconds? Like, I need some action in my life. Yeah, so I couldn't get through the original
and have
series.
a person standing going for the sound of the doors.
Yeah, so I'm getting through Voyager, and I'm probably going to get through Deep Space Nine after that. And I also need to watch the movie that leads into Picard, so I can start watching Picard as well. But I love Star Trek. I mean, I'm a scientist, and I like sci-fi. Not as much as fantasy, but I dig my sci-fi as well. So yeah, Star Trek is my thing. I'm also a Trek over Wars, but always been since I watched Enterprise still. So even though most people don't like Enterprise, I was still Trek over Wars since then.
May the force be with you.
No.
Which force? You got
Trek you off
Coriolis
to do that.
force. You got you did. Which force are you talking about?
Putting you on the spot there.
All right, now it is the captain of the
Can't think
Omnis's
of the
turn
force.
as to what's going on
The
now.
captain and the commander, why did you guys do it? Yeah, well, the lieutenant commander.
So,
The XO. Fine.
executive officer. Jeez, Angel, don't get that
The
wrong.
execs.
I'm tired, okay? Because I didn't
no
see
excuse.
the snow.
We all
That's a
have had
good
a long 2020. Hey, it's been a long year, guys.
Yes.
Why did you guys join the Dauntless and then obviously eventually form the Omnis, and then obviously you can explain what is the Omnis?
Well, we're both very big sci-fi fans. Everything from Star Wars to Star Trek. I'm more Star Trek, obviously.
Clearly, Captain.
Started. Yeah. We actually started. So we joined Starfleet in 2015, about 3 months after we started Fairy Fountain. So we went to go play Magic the Gathering with Owen, who is the Rear Admiral of Region 8.
I thought he was Fleet Admiral.
Not yet Fleet.
Okay.
We need another ship.
Yes.
He's Vice Admiral, though. It's VAD.
And that is how we
Vice
joined-
Admiral. Yes.
And that's how we joined the Dauntless. Now, you get two different types of ships. The Dauntless was a online ship. We are actually a meeting chapter. So we will actually start doing events where the crew can come together, do fundraisers, do little group activities, team building.
Yeah, the
stuff like
Dauntless
that.
is the correspondence chapter for the region,
Correspondence
whereas the
chapter.
Omnis
that's
is a
why
meeting
a
chapter
lot of the
for
crew
us.
is all over the country and even outside of the country as well.
Yeah.
Well done as well now.
Yeah, we've got special permission to have the lieutenants.
Yeah, the two lieutenants living
Transfers,
in
yeah.
another country.
So yeah, no. Well, the point of Starfleet is actually to bring people together and have fun. So our main goals are to try and embody Starfleet. Be kind to your fellow man. Help where you can. Go that extra mile. If you see someone who is struggling, help them out as much as you can. If that is giving them a kind word or buying them a break. It's that whole thing of building a community, bringing everyone together and stopping the nonsense about fighting about stuff that doesn't really matter. We want that utopia where we can all live together in harmony. And that is actually how a lot of Starfleet people and myself believe how we will get to the stars in that capacity.
Yeah, we need that Star Trek future.
Yes.
Well,
You already got the
we need the Vulcans to make first contact. That's what we need. I don't know how we get
Just-
that. I don't know how we get that going. But yeah, once we get the warp drive online, then hopefully we can get that going. Elon Musk is on a time. He's going to start delivering.
And then how that grew actually into the Omnis was the Dauntless is actually overpopulated at the moment.
way
You are
too overpopulated.
85 crew ship with over 75 crew members. So it's I talked to Owen and got my ranks up enough, and we decided to shoot off and create a meeting chapter, and people can actually then join between the ships. like we're still part of the Dauntless because they are our mothership, for lack of a better word, our flagship. For the shakedown period. Now, what shakedown is, we're a new ship. We need to be supervised for the first 6 months to a year. Now, that goes down depending on what you do with the crew, if they're actually active, if you do active meetings, if you've got a newsletter. We give out a newsletter every month between the 25th to the 1st, depends on what happens in life and load shedding. We've got an online group on Discord that we chat on every day. We've got a Facebook group, thanks to Lieutenant Burnett Kays, who does our Twitter, our Facebook, all of our social media stuff. We get stuff out, we could say at least 3 to 4 times a week from what I've seen, if not more. So it's to grow also the whole thing of it's okay to be a geek. Join us and it's a safe space. You can sit, if you want to role play, you can role play, we can play online games together. It doesn't have to be just Star Trek. So yeah, that's as much as
I think that pretty much covers it.
that summed it up in a big.
You don't
word.
have anything to add, Mandy.
This is the one that's got the major passion, so I think you pretty much
so you're just getting strung along here. That's what's happening.
He said.
I'll talk about the cosplay. He talks about the Star Trek. It works.
That sounds very familiar. It's literally just happened
so,
earlier when we started the episode between Kez and Rob. Okay.
It's a nice balance.
Yeah.
So,
Rather
like
interesting
in a
balance.
relationship, you have to have the Star Trek guy and the cosplay girl. Is that how it works? Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Or you can have the cosplay guy and the Star Trek girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not a cosplay guy, so I'm on Star Trek,
And
so
he
I'm
does a
halfway
lot of
there.
cosplay.
Yeah, I'm actually working on more cosplays to enter this year.
Okay. Can you say what they are? Like what are you?
Okay, well,
You
I'm
may as
working
well.
on a fantasy armor from My Hero Academia. So it's literally a full
Okay.
set of armor.
Oh, is that
or like Crunk from
Ishida?
Emperor's New Groove.
Who's that?
Crunk, you know, the
Crunk.
big burly guy that pulls the lever.
Pull the
for
lever, Crunk.
Oh, I don't remember.
I know that.
Yeah. And then obviously not cosplay related, but we got a new quartermaster on the ship, so we will all be getting new uniforms eventually.
Okay. All right.
Wasn't that announced a while back though? Didn't you guys announce that the quartermaster was there?
It
Yeah,
was,
On
but
our
her
stream.
first one is done.
Ah,
Yeah,
Her
but
uniform
she
is
did
done.
it for the Dauntless first.
Yeah.
though.
No, ours was done first.
Yes.
Her one, and then she made one for Lieutenant Krian, I think. So she's doing the quartermaster stuff for the Dawn.
How long does it take to get one made? Because I need to get one made.
About 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, so I need to decide whether I want to do it like for Comic Con Cape Town or Comic Con Africa.
I'll after the
see.
stream, I'll send you the details.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah,
We just have the
I'm
prettier
thinking about
outfit.
it.
I will fight you on that one.
or if you live in this country, you could just have them do it. Yeah.
Right.
That's okay. If I'm not, I'm fighting on the correction, but as soon as we get our Quasar class ship, we outgun and outspeed his ship, so that's fine.
That's weird. That's
You
so
gotta remember,
weird.
the flagship's not necessarily the strongest ship in the fleet. Eh?
I wonder if we
There's
just
probably ships that were stronger
should
than the
use it for
Enterprise.
parts for like for a station. We just break it down and like start building a station. Maybe we need a few more ships.
I
for
think
it.
Dauntless should pick up a second ship, and we should more than you know how like the Enterprise is always changing its style of ship that it has.
Yeah.
You know, you've had the Constitution class, then it bounced over to the very short-lived. I forgot what the B is, but the very short-lived ship that the B was. And then you've got the Galaxy class, and then obviously the Sovereign class now. Well, then I don't know what it is now on STO. I do not follow Picard history. I follow STO, by the way.
That's fine. But that's a discussion for another
Fine.
thing.
Yeah, it's a yeah.
Oh, you can talk about Picard. on
We
this
can have a whole separate podcast about Star Trek.
Anyone who watches this show
I
knows.
don't like. I don't like it so far. I don't like the fucking fucks.
Yes, I can't stand that. I don't know when they decided to bring swearing back into Starfleet, but
What?
this is not the Star Trek that Gene Roddenberry ever
Hashtag
imagined.
not
to
my
be
Star
honest.
Yeah.
Hashtag not my Star Trek.
It's supposed to symbolize Star Trek.
It sure as hell doesn't symbolize SFI. So hashtag not my Star Trek and hashtag not my Starfleet.
Yeah, I still need to get around to actually start watching. It might be a while.
So do we.
I've uploaded it for the entire server, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, but it requires time.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, it's always time, man. It's always time.
I first need to figure out how to get like Nemesis, and then I can actually start watching. I haven't
Heck
seen
it,
Nemesis.
dude. She's like, it's not that hard.
It is difficult because I'm so used to just clicking a button and something being there. Like I don't want to go Google how to
All
pirate
the
stuff.
7 Cs,
I've
dude.
left those days behind me. So
Unfortunately, you're gonna have to return to
I've
them.
hung up
Unlike SFI,
I've hung up my eye patch and my peg leg, and it's in the
unlike-
attic. I have to go up there and like dig it out. It's like anybody got
Yeah,
time
you'll
for that.
have to.
Yeah, so
Because you know that we're just lucky enough to have starships that are, as far as I know, you guys get the stuff from CBS directly, don't you?
Yes.
I thought
we-
so.
Unfortunately, they have to do it for licensing reasons. But it's also, you have to, like with us, we had to apply for the ship we wanted to have. And the reason we had the normal Nova class, not Quasar class, is the Quasar class wasn't part of SFI yet. So we have a lone ship of a Nova until the Quasar class gets certified by Starfleet International Fan Association.
Yeah, and I think there was one thing that was actually concerning to me was that why don't they actually include ships from Starfleet or Star Trek Online and stuff like that? Because you know what, that is a bigger build, and more people that play that are Trekkies actually play that than even watch the new series. I mean, Discovery and STO are two very different things, you know, and people don't seem to understand that.
It's difficult for people who are not into the fandom to understand the difference between STO, Discovery, Picard, and even just the normal old TNG series. Everyone brings something to the table, and it's completely different.
That's exactly how the Omnus was created, though, was from STO. The Quasar class is in it's in STO, isn't it? As far as I remember, it was only in STO.
The reason for the Omnus is to bring the South African Region 8 up to speed to where we can get younger people to start joining. Because I have no problem with our age people joining Starfleet, but we want to get the oldies. We want to get the younger generation. They're going to be more interested if they can correlate it to STO instead of, oh, that's an old Star Trek story that my parents watched.
Yeah, exactly.
okay, interesting.
That makes sense. That's also why I don't think they should be dropping F-bombs in a family show, though.
It's not a good thing. I do not agree with that, but that's also, personal choice.
It's not only a personal choice, dude. I mean, remember when you got your kids watching it, you know, and they dropped that F-bomb. It's rated 12, eh?
Yeah, no,
The show's rated 12. You can't rate a show 12 and then put the F-bomb in it and like. I mean, people's kids are watching this, you know.
Yeah, but it breaks that whole utopian society feel. It's like why get where if we're living in a utopian society?
Yeah, you get to do
that's not
like
necessary.
you get to live your best life essentially in that society.
Yeah.
So like, why do you even have time to know?
Sorry, I'm just being a dick.
I found some more news. They want to. You guys know that. I'm sure we've all seen them over Christmas time. The Elf on the Shelf characters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To make a movie of it or a TV series.
But do I?
Yeah, but I mean, the amount of TV series and that are coming out now. I mean, I saw a thing, they're making a live action of Lilo and Stitch, and I saw what Stitch is going to look like. And it's like, that's something from my freaking nightmares. That's not Stitch, the cuddly, lovable alien that will eat your head. That's just, it will eat your head.
Yeah, I think...
And they also want to make a live action Resident Evil Netflix TV series.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And it was like the movies were terrible. Why? The game is the only good thing that ever came out of the Resident Evil movies. Why destroy it anymore? The movies were terrible. They suck. And people are like, oh, but it's a good movie. It's like, if you ever played the game, that's Resident Evil. This cuck, I don't know what it is, but it's not Resident Evil. And now they want to make it into a TV series. It's going to be like Walking Dead, Resident Evil style. It's like no difference. You might as well just watch The Walking Dead. That's how I see it.
Wouldn't necessarily agree with that. Like it's like we're in a kind of a golden age for TV now because of online streaming technology. So I can see why a lot of people with money and in the business would be investing more in TV. But also I think television series are much more fitting for video games than movies are, because you have this longer time span to fit in, which like games are usually 10, 20, 30 hours long depending on the genre and the title. So you always have this like you always have enough time to develop characters, time to develop story. So I mean, we just got the Witcher series now, and that was great. Granted, that was based on the books.
I was about to say it's based on the book.
But it's the same concept, because a TV series gives you a lot more time to actually get into the story and to have character arcs and to so it's not, you can't really equate it to a movie where you get 90 minutes and you try and shoehorn an entire game's worth of experience in there.
My statement is more along the lines of, you know what, Resident Evil movie killed everything and made everything bad. Just let it die. Just really, it's dead. You killed it. You shot it in the head. It's dead. Now leave it.
It could be good though. It could.
But
be
exactly,
good.
that's why it's coming back, because they're zombies.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you shoot a zombie in the
They're
head,
staying
it's
on
dead.
brand. You know, like
Because they literally shot
The
it in
zombies
the
have
body.
evolved.
Its legs fell off, its arms fell off. It was literally just lying there with its head going, and then eventually the morons from the movie finally killed it by shooting it in the head with that last terrible version of it. And knowing them, they'll bring it back. Oh, let's bring another one out just for the shits and giggles of it. Let's see if we can get that last drop of milk out of this.
No, they want money. That's what they want. They want money. That's all.
Yeah, and the problem is, people are no longer watching it. The only people who are watching Resident Evil are the people in China.
Yeah, but you see, it's going to be about the coronavirus, Resident Evil now.
Yeah, that's
Let's
true.
not go there. Let's not bring real world problems into this.
You know what? It's less a problem than it is just a rather hectic flu virus. Because the thing is, the flu virus has killed more people this year and last year than the coronavirus has. So
yeah, there's misinformation
people are worrying
going around
about
about it. But yeah, we'll see. It just needs time to fizzle out.
You should see the people at my office. Oh my god, they're like, oh, it's gonna kill us all. It's gonna kill us all. I'm like, how old are you? They're like, oh, I'm 25. Yeah, it's not gonna kill you. Don't worry.
The more
You'll cough for a
interesting
while
thing,
and then you'll get over it.
The more interesting thing is how China built a hospital in like 5 days. Like how do you have infrastructure like that, and like we can't fix a pothole in 10 years? Like, what is going on?
Exactly.
Like, how would that explained? Yeah.
So what Kez is going to have to do is I don't know, is everyone able to see this? Would our viewers be able to go and have a look at the Omnisys site?
That's why I put
can
the
see
link
it.
there,
Yeah.
because I was told it's the updated version.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
What's
I wasn't
geektorrent.com?
sure.
Behind the scene things, don't worry. Just
I'm talking to the operations officer.
And you know what? That's got to go through security first. I am the chief security officer. Ha ha.
Are you monitoring the lines there?
Have you guys seen Birds of Prey? Do you want to see Birds of
I
Prey?
have zero interest.
Haven't seen it, want to see it.
Yeah, I have zero interest as well.
Less than zero interest, actually.
It's
I'm not interested in DC. Like, you got to choose your fights. Like, I don't have time to do everything. And DC has been such a disappointment with their movies that I've just crossed it out of my attention. I get why Harley Quinn is so popular and like she's cool for cosplay, and there's been a billion Harley Quinn cosplays at Comic-Con and stuff like that, but other than that, zero interest. I like Batman, that's all.
Agreed.
Yeah, no,
Sorry. Carry on.
they're good with their animation.
Yeah,
when it
I'll
comes,
agree with
DC
that.
knows
Yeah,
how
I'll
to
agree with
do
that.
animation.
Yeah.
When it comes to actual movies, they tend to fall short.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like Flashpoint Paradox, the animated movie is one of my favorite movies. Animated movies. They do make really good animated movies and series. I'll give them that. Movies, yeah, we're on the same page there. Anybody got time for that? What about you, Kez?
Yeah.
I just want to see it because I like Margot Robbie. To me, she like embodies Harley Quinn. That's how I pictured Harley Quinn to look and to sound. So that's the only reason I would actually go to see it. Other than that,
I mean, it's fine to want to go. It's like I don't. I've got other things to do first before I spend money to go watch. Birds of Prey.
Yeah. I do love this picture of Kez as Chief Operations Officer. Who decided to take the one with the moustache?
That was Pretorius. The website is his baby.
It has to be Pretorius. I think he could choose that one. And he chose the perfect picture for me. I look surprised. It's like, what? I'm security officer? Huh?
Well, it kind of was because you were kind of thrown into the role.
Yeah, I was. It was like at one point I was like, I'm helping the engineering officer. And it's like, oh, we need a security officer. Ross? Okay, I'll do it. Fine. And now I'm like taking over the role of, what was it? The Marines now as well. You're asking me if I take over the freaking Marines for Starfleet Online, Star Trek Online, because no one else is doing it.
Oh, the site actually looks really cool now. I haven't seen it in a while.
It does, eh?
I like the department logos.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
I actually
hilarious.
need to add you to our Discord channel too, so you can see the difference between the Slack and the Discord.
Discord is so
Okay,
much
yeah,
easier
for
to
sure.
work with. Eh? Yes.
We also, with our amazing engineer, Lieutenant Commander
Henry
Swanepoel,
Swanepoel, and he's got one hell of a beard on him.
he threw together a bot that does everything for us, even automated yellow alerts. The site is wonderful.
That's cool.
It's insane.
I think we got a great team, actually.
No, we
like
have
your-
the senior staff
Thank you.
of the honors is the perfect fit for each
That
department.
picture looks the most professional out of all of them.
right?
There's a reason our ship has already lost our shake.
That one too.
Everyone shows like these really fancy professional photos, and I was like, oh,
And you got a
shit.
moustache. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I mean, she is COO. She may as well just like act it. So
Yeah, but that also it shows the difference of how fun Star SFI can be.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The surprise.
Safari is cool. I have no regrets
security
paying
officer.
that annual fee. Zero regret.
Yeah, no, neither do I. Eh? It's gonna get all the stuff sent to us
We
here.
didn't pay our first annual fee. It was gifted to us.
Yeah, our first one. Which again, thank you to the captain and the XO for that one. But had they not done, wouldn't be part of the ship. Just remember.
Yeah, it's part of the requirements.
I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they did it. It's like, they're coming with us. They're staying on. They're staying
Yeah. I actually need to start reading like all that shakedown stuff because I want to start a ship like that's just like scientist based. Because a lot of the people that are brought with me, like after I joined, were also
what you can actually do, because if you don't want to do a full ship, you can actually request your own shuttle.
Okay.
So that you can do a crew up until 10 people on a shuttle, and you don't have to go through the entire shakedown process.
Okay, I'll think about it. I'll have a look and see.
Because we needed a meeting chapter, we needed to create a new ship, a new identity.
Because
that's
physical,
how Omnis was born. Omnis is basically all-encompassing. We are everything from geeks, developers. Everything you want in one ship. Techies.
That's a really funny thing. I'm an IT technician, yet I'm chief of security. That was also very funny. Like, here's the IT technician. He can shoot people.
We got engineering cover. We don't need another engineering guy. You can go pick up a phaser and just like guard the ship.
It's funny with him saying that I'm still acting engineering officer of the Dauntless.
Seriously, how are you bouncing between the Dauntless and the Omnis? Seriously,
there's a reason there's not a lot getting done at the moment.
Because the Dauntless is overstaffed. That's why we can afford not to have people there.
No, you're overpopulated and understaffed because nobody wants to jump into roles.
Yeah,
this is true.
There's a lot of red shirts with no roles.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, nobody wants to take on the roles because they're very, very scary.
Oh, those type of roles. Well, some of them have requirements, like you have to like have a suit and stuff.
No, the security role is pretty scary for me. When I saw it, I was like, okay, I'll...
Yeah, I got snaked for deputy science officer. I wanted that role.
You let slip that you were in science. Owen's gonna take advantage of that.
Yeah, he is, by the way.
It's like we're going to Comic-Con. I'm giving a panel as well. So.
Oh, that's cool. What are you giving a panel about? Like, have you thought about?
Star Trek.
No, I know, but like, how are you approaching it?
We're actually still working on it, so it's a little bit difficult with them being in Cape Town and me being here, but I'll let you know soon that's a little bit more finalized.
What I really like about SFI and the Dauntless is that you can kind of gamify your life in certain ways. Like if you want to do
it's
like,
you can get home and you're no longer the IT techie. You are the chief security officer of the US Omnis.
Well, that's more roleplay. But what I mean by gamify is that like you get rewarded for doing everyday things. Like you get rewarded for going for a park run. You get rewarded for doing charity. That's what I really like about it. I'm actually thinking of like doing a video about how the ways that I gamify my life, and the Dauntless is one of them.
No, it's also nice. It's a simple thing. It's like we do on the Omnis. I don't know if the Dauntless does it anymore, but we've got in our newsletter every month we actually give people awards, our ship awards for when they do something that is noteworthy. Like for Pretorius for creating our newsletter into he has not failed us. Every month we've had a issue. This month's awards went to Pretorius for his dedication to the newsletter and to our new recruit who's been with us for less than 2 months, Julia Smith, who has
our quartermaster.
Become the quartermaster. Something that seems stupid to have, but if you want a hat with your ship on it to show in public,
it's up to her to do it. Yeah,
this is what I believe in. This is how we want to live our lives. It's an email away.
Exactly,
and it's really cool for you to be proud of, to show off.
Yeah,
it makes it accessible.
Where it's again, this is not Harry Potter, not Starfleet, but I mean it's true. People are more proud over their Hogwarts houses than what they are over their school, and I think it boils down to the same thing with SFI: is that people are more proud over that than what they were over their own actual school.
Yeah. No, yeah. It is like there's emotion attached to it.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. What topic were we on? How did we get back to this?
Ockley just sucks us back in.
We were talking about Birds of Prey.
On Birds of Prey and movies and stuff,
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
Mister was looking at the sides, and then we just
Just rolled it back.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
to
a
be fair,
yo-yo.
when
We
you
keep
look
going back
around
to Star Trek
there's
because there's a Star Trek fan.
It's called skill, guys. I know how to turn the conversation.
Into Star Trek.
Yes.
You need to find a way to market that skill and make money from it. Otherwise, is it really a skill? Like,
he actually wants to study to be. We need to be here for like 3 years or something.
mhm.
But he wants to study to be a professor or a tour guide or a curator at a museum or something.
Okay.
So the skill will come in use then.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's conversational skills. It is useful. So what's next on the list, Kez?
We've covered all the topics that we needed to. So I guess the next question that we can do, that we always do, is what are the plans for Fairy Fountains in 2020?
Mhm.
You guys looking forward to?
What is your
What do you
2020
have
vision?
planned?
Cape Town Comic Con, we've already gotten our approval for, so that's happening.
I'll see you guys there.
We're
then.
waiting to hear whether we've got approval for Cape or for Comic Con Africa, but considering that we've gotten approval the last 2 years running, I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to have a table this year at Comic Con Africa as well.
Mm.
We're still contemplating Rage. It depends on what their prices are when they bring out the tables and that. And I think those are the main ones that we're going to.
Yeah, and then Fairy Fountains wise, we recently got a resin printer, so we can do your resin prints now as well for D&D figurines, smaller detailed parts.
Nice.
And then we're also going to try and do bigger props. Stuff like full light-up movable Iron Man helmets. I think you guys saw our arc reactor I did last year.
Oh yeah.
The proof that Tony Stark has a
Really
heart.
cool,
And we want to do weekly
We want to do a full-scale weekly that lights up
from
as well.
Portal. Yeah.
So we're going into the bigger props, showing
Okay.
more of what can be done. Not just, we have a printer, let's print it. How can we make this item a reality with the 3D?
Mm. How often do you get like cosplay commissions and stuff? Is it
That's
increasing?
actually how we got started, is cosplay commissions.
Yep.
Our first cosplay commission was a Sleeping Forest badge from an anime
It's, for heaven's sake, air gear.
Aegir, and then the one after
and that was
was
for Cat's Tail cosplay.
Cat's Tail cosplay, and then after that we did, for the same person, Cat's Tail cosplay, Alwyn's Crown from Lord of the Rings.
First time designing anything.
So from there we grew. We've
Yeah.
printed for Jinx Kitty cosplay, for Kampatsu cosplay, Malkami cosplay,
Yeah. So you
Maramosa
guys
cosplay.
are
We-
you're part of like the whole cosplay economy,
Yeah.
which I think is
It's-
really
That
interesting.
was lacking when we started.
I wonder, like,
It's
I wonder
part
whether it's cosplay is considered a separate industry right now, or if it's about to. But the thing is,
In
like,
terms of 3D printing, it is actually considered a separate industry or separate market.
And the thing is, there's a lot that goes into printing for cosplayers. That's all different.
do you think there's enough happening to just have a
plastics and-
convention about cosplay?
No, it's just like the type of materials you have to be. You need to know what you can and cannot print. What will be able to take, what will warp. You don't want a cosplayer to carry around a 30-kilogram axe if you can make it a 5-kilogram axe. It's a lot of. You need to be a cosplayer to understand how to help cosplayers.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so you would have to be knowledgeable just to be able to take commissions in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a skills and knowledge based job essentially.
No, it is, and it's a
And all
specialized.
self-taught.
Yeah.
Yeah, It would have to be because there's no university degree for cosplay, unless I don't think
I don't know
there
if
is.
you guys heard Chewns' question earlier as well, unless it's just me on a delay or something. But I'll ask it again anyway, and you can say if you answered it. Do you think that there's enough build and interest and stuff to have a con or an event that's solely focused on cosplay, like the printing side of it, the tutorial side of it, the actual cosplay side? Would there be a market for just plain cosplay event, no pops, no other stands, no nothing like
else? Yeah,
They've actually tried that before. What's it was? CosCon? Cosex, yes.
Yeah, but that was also 2 years ago before Comic-Con and that. Because what Comic-Con did is it inspired a lot more cosplayers to come out of the woodwork. Because a lot of people were, I don't want to cosplay, I don't know how to do it. With Comic-Con, they're doing the panels, the little introduction courses and that. It's opened up, and in the last year and a half, few months, cosplay has really actually grown and stuff. There's a lot more cosplayers, younger people coming in, older generations who used to cosplay coming back into it as well. So at the moment, I think it will be a good idea to offer workshops and teaching people how to properly do it. Because people just think, okay, there's a piece of foam, I don't know how to do it. It'll take you 5 minutes to learn how to make a helmet out of a piece of foam if you know how or if someone shows you how to do it.
Yeah.
And you can follow tutorial online and that, but not everyone can learn like that. You need that physical, okay, here's the materials, this is how we
Some
do
people
it.
need to take a class, different people learn in different ways, and some people need tactile or direct visual way in order to learn. So I think it's a thing that would potentially be able to happen in the next couple of years, and I don't even know much, but just thinking about what goes into making a cosplay and the knowledge and the different types of knowledge, I think you'd be able to fit in many things to do in a cosplay convention.
Yeah.
Because
Grab your hands.
Have chocolate.
Showing us snacks.
Yeah, I wonder, who you think would be able to host that right now? Who do you think would be a cosplayer, or would it be a brand, or would it be?
I think it would actually have to be a combination. You're going to have a cosplayer, a vendor, and someone who's done cons before to make it actually work properly.
So honestly, something like the Nexus and the guys at the Nexus might be able to, but I mean, they focus more on icon.
Yeah.
So it would have to, I don't know, I think if someone, honestly, the way that I think it could work is if someone worked together with Comic-Con themselves to have a con at the beginning of the year with all of the sort of introductory to cosplay, this is how you cosplay, all the rest of it, because it benefits Comic-Con at the end of the day as well. So, I mean, I think that would probably be the best route to go.
It would be like choosing your first Pokemon, and then Comic-Con would be the tournament.
Yeah,
basically,
like your first gym. Yeah, that actually sounds even more enticing right now. I think somebody should take this up and roll with it.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, even at our Connect here in Port Elizabeth, there were workshops and classes for making stuff. Exactly what you said, making a helmet, it was one of the classes. I didn't go to any of them because I have no interest in actually making cosplay, but I'm very interested in just the culture and the economics of how geek culture is changing the world. Because I mean, things like esports now, there's so much money in it that's overtaken the movie and the music industry worldwide. So we're having a very big revolution in entertainment because of geek culture over the years, and cosplay is one of those things. So I'm interested in just the philosophical, scientific aspects more than actually wanting to get into it. Yeah. But it's fascinating.
Interesting community. And there's some very interesting people in the community. So full of creatives.
Okay.
Was that aimed at us or something? Check those eyes.
What happened, Kes? Do we need to call 911? Like, what is the number for 911 in Scotland?
999. Wrong emergency number. We're in the UK, not in the States. It's
Not only
999.
2 911.
Not my fault I have big eyes.
What's the latest in the 3D printing world? What's going on there?
You can answer that one.
Okay, well, actually, what's happening is FDM filament fused printing is actually slowly dying out. Everybody's moving over to resin printing. Because with the technology, they've made it so that the build plates are bigger, so you can build more things faster. And the details are insane. I did not have one of the things here. We printed a item that is 15 millimeters high.
Jeez.
And you could see little church windows with the window lining in them.
That's so cool. That's
And
crazy.
the detail's great, but honestly, the printer itself is messy, and I don't like the messiness.
Yes, because you get resin everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So cleaning up is an issue.
Yeah, just
Pros
okay.
and cons,
What I'm going to
pros and
say is
cons.
revert to the SA Geeks video on YouTube when Kez puts it up of Carl doing a resin mold, and look at how messy that actually gets.
Yeah, especially when you
It would have
Ridiculous.
been really nice if it was up already.
Wow, but it still works.
It was so messy. Holy crap. And I had my camera right there and I was showing like everyone. It's like, look at how messy this crap is. Holy crap.
What is
Messy
the
is just as bad, and the only way you get rid of it is with alcohol. So it's
Yeah.
okay? So pros and cons. And pros.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, there's a lot of pros and cons. It's not a thing that, okay, I'm going to go buy a printer and it's going to work first go.
It's not a freaking ink. You
No.
don't plug and play.
No,
You're going
no,
to
it's
waste
not.
a roll of filament.
Nice. It's a good
Yeah.
Bottle of resin, because
Yeah.
you're going to screw up, and it's getting angles right and temperatures
Yeah.
right and grade leveling right.
So I'm guessing you have
And
to
that's
account for
also-
that cost, like in your business
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
So like a lot of people come to us and yeah, I can do that. I've got it. But they don't realize we've worked 5 years to get to the point where we know 6 years.
6 years.
This is going to work or this is not going to work.
Mm. Mm.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah. And it's
It's really
just
fun hobby to get
just boots on the ground doing it. Like
Yeah. Get a printer and start messing up, because you're going to mess up. It's,
that's really
but you're going to get to
interesting.
a point where you mess up less and you make really cool things.
And when you mess up, you sometimes get things like that.
Yeah, like we had a Hearthstone that we printed, and
It stopped printing halfway because of issues with the printer. I made it into a paintbrush holder.
Yeah, that's pretty epic.
Silver linings. Silver linings. You gotta find them everywhere.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, okay, this is going to be a good one for most of our viewers, but over and above the fact that when we moved to the UK, some of our 3D printed stuff that you guys printed for us, they broke during the move, which wasn't
Aw.
great. We're very unhappy. Not terribly broken though. I can fix them.
Yeah.
But what kind of a glue is super glue good, or is that going to just break the resin if you use it? Because I know super glue basically tightens and onto things and basically makes it like it locks onto it.
Give you an
What is it
idea
good
what
resin?
broke was the Witcher wolf
Oh, yeah.
and the one
Sad.
ship thingy.
What they sell on the price.
okay, for the printed pot, you're going to use nail polish, because we print with ABS.
Nail
So-
varnish.
Yep, and
Acetone.
nail varnish has acetone in it, and acetone melts ABS plastic.
A little bit on each side, and then
Stick
Yeah,
it together.
and then for the resin, you can use any super.
Hashtag
Okay,
pro tips.
awesome.
Pro
And
tips.
obviously, I had a bit of concern. I didn't want it ripping apart or anything. And I'm pretty sure the viewers will also like to know, in case any of their 3D printed stuff breaks, how they can actually put it back together.
oh, it's only if
Um,
it's printed with ABS, though. Hey,
Yeah, I don't know what you guys printed them with, so.
We ABS, we refuse to print with PLA.
PLA.
Okay, so if it's ABS, you use nail varnish.
Nail polish, nail remover, or you can just
Nail
go to any building shop and get acetone.
Nice. Okay, so acetone. All right, awesome. Look at the joint agreement there. Both heads nodded at exactly the same time.
That's all right. 100% agreement.
Done this a while.
There's a
That's
reason
skill.
there's only a 5-liter container of acetone with us at once.
I'm sure.
Have you tried? Can you take that on a plane? Like,
No.
no.
No, they don't allow that kind of
I'm
stuff.
sure
on the
they'd have
plane. That's why
questions for
buy it in
you.
the country.
Like, what is happening here?
That's why you buy it in the country that you reside
It's
in.
the reason that I say I normally go with Chem Lab when I do demos on resin, because I've got resin and acetone and alcohol, and
Yeah.
some things might go boom.
Myriad of problems.
I can imagine you have to you'd have to inform people at the airport that you're traveling with this stuff.
But we'll be driving down to Cape Town Comic Con because we're going to have the printers and all the rest of it with us. And our trust in people is very limited.
I can imagine.
It's lacking,
Yeah.
heavily lacking.
Sending down a 10,000 Rand printer on a plane?
Anybody got
No.
time for
Yeah,
that?
not a good idea.
I mean, never mind the stock.
Yeah.
So now we're going to be
I suppose
driving
it
all
would
the
be
way
really
down.
You
expensive
won't
to ship
get
it
all
down.
of your
Yeah.
stock arriving.
Yeah.
Or in one piece. Because, I mean, I've seen how they tend to take things and just like, what?
Just throw.
Exactly. Just yeet it.
Jeez. I'm not going to pretend that I'm in the
Wow, things broke.
demographic that can say that word.
No,
So
actually, our
what,
things broke because I was actually careless, Angel.
what's the demand for those D&D figurines that you're planning to make? Like, do you get asked
Actually,
often?
with the D&D figurines, it opened up a new market for us for Warhammer and the board game players, because it's so expensive and it takes so long to get stuff from overseas here, because we don't really have the items other countries have, that it's really a outlet for the people to go, okay, well, I want this, but I'm not going to pay 3,000 Rand and wait 4 months to possibly get it if the post office decides to deliver it to my house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
now
Angel,
it's-
don't give that look. You know what it's like. Just because you've been living here for 3 months doesn't mean you don't know what it's like.
Like, that's why I was like, oh, the post office will not deliver it.
you know,
Yeah,
there's
to
a lot
give you an
of
idea.
people know you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. But to give you an idea, all right, here in the UK, if you order something online, I mean anything, like if you want to get something from Amazon or something like that, yeah, there you go. You order stuff from Wish and stuff like that. But if you order it from anywhere online, it doesn't get delivered to you by courier. It gets delivered to you by the Royal Mail. That shows you how good these guys are. Never get sometimes products may go missing, but they're never stolen.
Through the post office.
Yeah, our bank cards came through the post office, and it arrives very quickly. We ordered our bank cards, and I think 2 days later we got them. Basically, that's how quickly it was delivered to us. It's insane how fast they are here. So, Kiz gave that look because she's so used to how quick and efficient everything is here.
No, I know how not
She's not
efficient
just
it is. I'm very used to it. I feel the pain. Anyway,
Yeah, dude, it's so awesome that even public transport is wicked here. I mean, you climb on a
not
train.
about us.
It's really awesome. You go fast.
It's about fairy
it's not.
fountains right now. We're having a conversation about
But
3D
it's still
printing.
okay. We're trying to get them to move.
I have questions that need to be
We're
answered.
trying to convince them to move to the UK.
Questions.
But
You
anyway,
can
carrying on.
talk afterwards. Questions about fairy fountains.
Well, I have more like a thought when it comes to 3D printing, because 3D printing is making essentially manufacturing more accessible to the average person. So I was thinking of like, if you're gonna be going into stuff like D&D and stuff, whether in the future there will be people who make board games or tabletop games, and don't actually sell the boards or any of the pieces. They just sell the designs to be 3D printed, and they sell PDFs to be printed.
They're already doing that, though.
Yeah, so I can imagine like you guys will be coming into that market where, well, you can even like just make a box that's a game if you have access to all the things that you need, and like sell it. That's everything that you manufactured.
Yeah.
And I find that really cool, and a future that I like to have pretty soon, where you can just be like, guys, can you manufacture me a box of this game? And can I have it soon? Yeah, so I think it's an interesting way like our world is going to, like we're gonna, that future where we can just be like, computer, make a coffee from Star Trek is like, it's coming through this type of technology.
Yeah, I mean, look at tablets. We're in Star Trek and now we've got them here. Star Trek was the way of the future.
It was the way of
Yeah, what the hell happened to it?
You're gonna bring up Picard again.
Yeah. No, but we are also. It's a nice way of also doing with the 3D objects. You get the demand for it, where people will upload the smallest, stupidest thing that you will never think that you will need, like a part for your car that breaks. That you can't go to Ford to go pay $7,000 for a piece that big, but you can download it and quickly print it at home.
Yeah, you can see how Ford's going to lose so much money.
If you get disrupted, you get disrupted. You have to step up at your game and do something that's more useful. Like I have no
create a product that actually works.
I mean, things break, but I have no love lost for companies that like try to hold on. Like the world's going to change and you're going to get disrupted because they're going to be very clever people that make new technologies that'll put you out of business. So unless you're willing to innovate and keep providing value to people, like you're going to get left behind. It's kind of one of the problems I have with like the oil industry, because they're so like adamant on just keeping their stuff alive that we're just killing the planet because of it. But it's a story for another time.
Adaptability.
Yeah. I think I've run out of questions on the pre-printing.
Have you ever gotten someone that asked you to commission a cosplay prop or anything, not even a prop, just anything that they say, okay, I want this, and it's this crazy, not doable thing? Have you ever had that, number one? And if so, if you have, how do you let them down in such a way that they actually understand without getting upset with you?
Okay, well, we've had a couple of instances like that, where they come with this idea, this grand idea, which is awesome. It's like, okay, cool. You know what? We can do it for you, but it's going to cost you. So, I mean, like at one point we had Blizzard that actually approached us and wanted us to print Hearthstone statues, but at the size that they wanted it, and they wanted it within 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, I'm terribly sorry. I mean, I can help you, but this will require me buying this and this printer in order to get the stuff done on time and this amount of labor. So you're looking at a bill of $2 million for what you want.
What?
I'm afraid it's not going to work out. So, I mean, yeah, and I mean, it was sad to have to turn them down because we're talking about Blizzard here.
Blizzard, yeah.
But unfortunately, sometimes the scope of what they want to do and the time that they give you, it's just physically not possible.
The chief outfit.
Yeah, the Master Chief outfit. We had a dude literally, I think it was like 4 days before Rage, who approached us and like, okay, cool, he wants a full Master Chief outfit
4
printed.
days before Rage.
Full Rage. So it's like, well, I'm terribly sorry. Unfortunately, the Master Chief outfit, to print the entire thing, is going to take us about 3 months to get it properly, up to scratch, all of that. So unfortunately, timing-wise, if you want it for next Rage, we can help you. Can't help you for this Rage. I don't think we've ever had anyone that's been angry with us at turning them away, because, I mean, just the way that we explain it to them, we make sure they understand the reason we can't help them. I think the only one was the dude that was embarrassed when he wanted the molding.
Yeah, that's not a...
That's not a safe topic.
No. We did a molding demo, and one of these really cocky young little kids came up and asked...
not cocky young little kid, he was an adult.
Adult, debatable. Wanted a mold of himself.
He came to me to try and get me flustered, and it's like, nope, I don't think you can keep it right for that amount of time. Sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he wasn't very impressed with my answer. His friend loved it though. His friend dragged him the entire. Yeah.
Well, there are means and ways to keep it aloft for a while. But,
chemical means via pharmacies.
Yeah, chemical means and ways to keep it aloft for that long. However, will he be able to handle the chemicals that will more than likely give him severe chemical burn?
Well, I mean, if you're using
Lifecast can do it.
Yeah, it can do it.
And dragons.
And I'm
Over the sensitive bits too, though.
Yeah, it wasn't something that I was quite willing to do.
No, I wouldn't say that you would. I wouldn't say that you would.
We're just discussing the possibility
sure,
here, not the actual
Yeah, I'm
doing
pretty sure
it.
the sensitive bits will actually become.
It is possible. And it will be a once-off mold that would then be made, because the life cast and that makes a once-off.
Yeah.
So it's out of algae, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes an algae. You make a negative out of algae. Then you pour in your resin for the positive, and then the algae breaks off. So you get one use out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I had a question, but it totally slipped my mind. I don't know what happened. I got distracted with this random story. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, how does somebody even like what? How? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like what kind of person do you have to be to do something like that? Like,
We met you broke his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it back just now. I just need to retrace my mental steps. Go into my mind palace and find this question. Geez,
What's the craziest thing that you've had to do 3D printing wise, and also what's the shortest amount of time you've been asked to deliver something from, obviously excuse me, from them starting to talk to you to payment to quote to everything? What is the shortest amount of time you've pulled out a hat trick, basically?
That would be for Kanpatsu cosplay. She did a
Dota Crystal Maiden,
and she ran out of time to make the crystal that was about that size, 30 centimeters. We needed to print it and paint it in 4 days.
No, it wasn't painted. She painted it herself. Just remember, she put on.
But it was a 36-hour print that she needed in 4 days, because she was flying, I think it was Germany.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was when she was going.
So that is the fastest we've ever completed a big prop in that time.
Yeah, and small props in that we do at the cons, and that where if it's a half an hour to an hour print, just print it and off it goes. But
do you guys like do the designs, or do you get them
yes,
online?
some of them, yes.
I do a lot of the design work. Mandy does some of the design work, and what we can't do, we actually approach freelancers to help us.
Freelancers, okay. So
yeah.
And what software do you need to use for that?
Okay, it depends on the item. We use 123 Design, it's an CAD software, Fusion 360, Inkscape, and then also what's
kind of Blender. We're still learning Blender, but that is.
So it all depends on what the item is to what program we'll use.
Okay.
So for a simple design like a USB stick, we use 123 Design, and I can kick this out in under 5 minutes. For something like a Mustang, I'll use Fusion 360. That will give me a shell outline that I can work with better.
Okay.
Oh, it makes sense.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then there was
Have you ever thought, obviously you guys do custom things for everyone else, but have you ever decided, or has a thought come up to make specifically ideas and creations of your own that's not a reference to something else, but like your own designs and makes that's one of a kind, basically?
We've thought about it, we've talked about it. problem is to come up with something that we know will definitely sell. Because I mean, especially at the conventions and that, it's like I know what people want to buy. For instance, Rex, they are always popular. They always go quickly. So I know I'll make my money on that. Problem is with something that's personal to us, we don't necessarily know whether it's going to go. We're sort of trying and testing it with our mascot now.
Yeah.
Seeing how people sort of respond to that, and then possibly branching off into doing something unique.
Yeah. You would need to, I would say you would need to build brand first before you start merchandising that way. And that's difficult to do if you, I mean, because you're focusing on the manufacturing side of the business, which is lucrative enough. So, and there's going to be a lot of time that needs to go into that kind of creative work. So I can see why it would be difficult from a business standpoint to do that. But once you've built up enough brand recognition, then it would make more sense to then do. What about collaborating with other artists and designers for their...
We used to do this thing called the Geek Vault, where every month we'd get someone else to contribute and give something in the box for it. The one year we did, I believe it was a Destiny night.
Yeah, with
Cosplay Cocktail Nuri. He created that for. So we did that back then, but everybody gets so busy with their own commissions that it's difficult to always work together and to find time to actually work together on a specific project.
I see. Yeah, everybody's hustling in their own tunnel.
Yeah.
Like it's. Yeah, I see why collaboration can be difficult. But yeah, if you do it cleverly, like, because there are going to be people out there who just want to do the art, but don't want to do anything to do with manufacturing or printing or anything. And that's where you guys
well, we
shine.
Sort of actually do that. There's I don't know his name. The product he made is called Play Kit. Now, I think KZNet saw them, those little miniatures that he had on the table. The one that I molded as well, the Black Panther. So he designs us up, and we have the sole rights to actually print and sell it for him.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And we're gonna have a lot more of them available. Comic-Con and that. These things are really they're little chibis. So it's we had a chibi Spock as well, and
we're gonna have a little baby Yoda one. Carrier.
How's the competition in your space? Like, do you guys ever feel threatened, or do you feel like it's empty? Anyway,
the thing is, the 3D printing industry from the last 6 years in that, we've had a lot of people that have come up and they're like, okay, cool, we're going to compete with you, and then they've just sort of vanished. There is still, there is competition, obviously. But I think we tend to more compete with the other cosplay commissioners than what we do with actual other 3D printers, because there's not a lot of people in the 3D printing industry that are like, oh, cosplayers, this is how I can sell to them. They're just like, oh, well, you want a mask there, boom. And their prices as well are a little bit on the excessive side. Yeah. They don't quite understand that cosplayers don't have the funds.
Don't have money. Well, it kind of
point where most, I would say 80% of the African cosplayers know who fairy fountains are.
That would make sense to me. That kind of makes sense why you would have more competition in the cosplay space than the 3D printing space, because you need a large initial investment to just get in there. There's a doorway, there's a glass pane that you have to go through to actually get in, and then, like you said, once you even have the machine, you just need to fail a lot to figure out how to actually become profitable. So it kind of
need to be stubborn.
kind of makes sense the way it is, but then it's kind of cool that you are in both spaces, so that you have like redundancy in your creative and business work. So it's pretty cool. I'm just fascinated by your business model.
Last year I made my first foam armor commission, actually. So It's a thing where we always grow, and you see where the need is, because there isn't a lot of people who do commissions, and the ones who do get booked up so quick that the newer people don't actually know where to go. And
would you consider teaching a class? Like, would you make a course online and put it on Skillshare or something?
Actually workshops at every convention as well, to try and tell people, well, contact us if you need help. That's the whole point of the cosplay thing. It's not just a community, it's a family. Everybody is at the point where you help each other to grow, and we get excited for each other to see what you're building. How did you build that?
That's really cool. Kez, do you have anything to add?
I like cookies.
I like cookies too.
All right. So there are people who like cookies here. Other people are on diets and don't like the cookies being mentioned. That's fine.
You can digest the cookies. They're healthy.
I suppose.
They taste quite nice.
Also
the
expensive.
dark chocolate digestive cookies.
Expensive.
You
know what's the best diet? Not eating. It doesn't require any time. It doesn't require any money. You just don't eat. It's the best. But then, yeah. But
what is the crazy thing that you want to do with 3D printing, whether it be for cosplay, for just in general or anything this year? What is the craziest idea that you guys want to try in 2020?
His Iron Man suit.
Yeah, I want to do a complete Mark.
That sounds cool. That sounds really cool. I can't wait to see that.
That's going to be a mission.
When do you think that'll be done?
Well, I mean, we're printing in between making stock for Comic-Con, so it doesn't necessarily mean it'll be done this year, but it's one of the things to try and push for it.
So it'll be either Comic-Con Africa or...
Right. Okay, so within the year still.
Yeah.
I thought it would be like a 3-year thing. Like you just work in the background.
Too impatient for that.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I think we've covered. Okay, like I think this should be like the last question. Like for the future of Fairy Fountains, like what do you envision like the pinnacle of your business and your geek activities to be? Like where do you see yourself in like 20 years or even 10?
Well, I mean, honestly, at the moment, I'm happy with what Fountains is. Obviously, I want more missions, and I want to have a couple of people that actually work under me that help me create it. So, I don't know if you know Punished Props, if you've ever heard of them.
Nope.
They're a prop maker in the States, and sort of we're aiming to get to that kind of level. Okay, well, you know, that well-known, they have several people working under them, just kicking out commissions left, right, and center, being able to have the stock. So in other words, instead of us standing at the block and the artist alley, we'd then be standing in our own little space, and that at Comic-Con with no fear of not being able to make our money back because we have enough stock. Because I mean, that's the only thing that's stopped us from actually renting out one of the biggest spaces, is we don't know if we can physically make enough stock to be able to cover everything and then still make a decent.
So essentially you just want to continue?
No, our main goal as well is to be, sounds very corny, a one-stop cosplay shop where we offer everything you need to do a cosplay.
Yeah, that sounds doable. You guys are pretty much close to that. But then I would say you essentially would just want to grow your business and then maybe take a start over time, have less responsibilities by hiring people and stuff like that, which is always a cool goal to have when you're growing a business. But it's really cool that you already like creatively you're already like fine with the space you're in. So it's just the business now part that needs work. So that's really cool. So you guys are like actually like doing your passion and your calling in life right now, and it's actually a privileged position to be in. Like some people are kind of stuck in 9-to-5s that they hate, or don't have work to begin with. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's how I started Fairy Fountains. Retrenched, and I couldn't find another job in the hospitality industry because, fortunately, kids apparently meant that I couldn't do the job. So he got the toy, the 3D printing toy, and I took it over. And created Fairy Fountains.
I think I have one more question. Like, how's your online like sales and marketing? Do you do any of that type of stuff, or is it just like physical?
We're still busy working on it because we do mainly commissions. It's difficult to do an online store, but that's also something I'm actually working on this year. Is getting a Facebook web page to a point where you can order some of the.
At least the stuff that you can easily produce quickly makes sense. Yeah, but cool. I dig this company.
Right. Just to do the outros then.
I suppose. Is everyone happy with that?
I'm fine.
Do you guys have anything that you want to say?
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions for us? You can bounce it back. Put us on the spot. Make us sweat.
No, you can't have my chocolate.
That'll be a very expensive courier to send the chocolate.
That would be damn expensive. Shit.
What do you mean courier? We just fly Kay's back here, and then she can give us the chocolate. She can go.
I think that wouldn't be cheaper. But
that also won't guarantee we get it.
Yeah, exactly. You think it'll last that long?
Yeah. What about Boros?
Nah.
Shame.
I joke. I kid. I don't know.
I forgot about him just now. We need to include
He's so
him
quiet.
in everything.
That's why. It's just been you and me that's been asking questions for like half an hour.
I had nothing to say.
All right.
And there's silence again.
I thought
I'll
you-
break the silence. That's all I can do. Isabella has a problem. Sorry, I'm playing Port Royale. Hence the reason why I said Isabella has a problem. It's a town in Port Royale. Anyway, over and above that, we're going to do the closing now, obviously. That's how it goes. Guys,
Oh, we
firstly,
finished.
Fairy Fountains.
I think so.
Are we finished?
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Is everyone happy? All right. So first, I'd like to say, Fairy Fountains, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. Carl and Mandy, you guys have been super duper unbelievable spots. It's been great having you on the show. As always, that's how it goes. We'd like you to first tell us where our viewers can find all of your information. This is the South African viewers and international if you're willing to pay the price of courier. So if you guys want to have stuff couriered to you, you're welcome to. If you live here in the UK or in the United States, you're also welcome to. But guys, where do our viewers find you?
The easiest place is going to be our Facebook page. It's Fairy Fountains 3D printing. You can also email me at mandy@fairyfountains.co.za.
No, it's your own domain. I approve.
Nice, that's actually really awesome. Yes. All right. Is there anywhere else that our viewers can find either of you?
Media channels.
Like media channels, social media, and stuff like that. Is there anywhere else?
We're on Instagram as well. It's fairy_fountains. And
We also have a YouTube channel that's not up to date yet. Fairy
Yeah.
Fountains.
and then which again is not
Yeah.
up to date.
Also,
Before you stop, I don't know if you guys saw it. I just
Yelling,
went on
yeah.
so that I can put it on your I just went on Facebook to get your link, but I saw this. Owen is a certified marriage officer.
Yeah, I saw that before the show. Interesting.
I'm
I did
late
not
to the
see that
party.
coming.
Angel, who out of us is he gonna marry?
Marry
We
the
can-
5 of us together. We're married.
Mandy and Carl are already married. You and I are already married. It's just Chewns.
It's
He's
just
got to
me.
find the love of his life.
I'm not that religious, so I don't know whether I would need his.
Doesn't have to be a religious thing. Our marriage wasn't religious.
Yeah,
Nor is
Anyway,
ours.
sorry for interrupting you.
but yeah, for sure, I would definitely like for the admiral
But
to
anyway, that
officiate my
now
wedding.
that Kiz has interrupted you. Okay, is there
With
anywhere
important
else that our viewers
information.
can find?
No, only those. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. All of it is
Email.
Fairy Fountain.
But yeah, Facebook is definitely the easiest place to get hold of us because that's one place that tends to actually give us the notifications.
Okay. All right, so there you guys have it. That was Fairy Fountains, and now we're going to move on to Chewns'. Where do we find you, my big brew?
At Geekoscopy. There, that's how
At
it's spelled.
Geekoscopy.
At
Other way
Geekoscopy,
around.
everywhere. Is it the other way?
Other side. It's on the other side of the screen there, bro.
On all the social media channels, except probably like Dig or MSN or MySpace or like
Okay, so all of the social media channels
all
that
of
are
the
still
relevant social media channels at Geekoscopy.
Should open a MySpace account.
Can you do that
Exactly.
actually? Is it possible?
Probably.
An AIM account.
I don't know, it's still available, but I don't think people use it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, yes, that's how you find the Mr. Coscopy. And now it's time for Kez to do the fun part because she doesn't like doing this, so I'm going to make her do it. Where do we find the SA Geeks, my angel?
And nowhere.
What?
Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
That's why she hates doing it.
I think that's all of them.
Your new streaming service?
D-Live.
Oh no, we don't do D-Live anymore.
Yeah, we're not doing D-Live at the moment. It's just too much of a mission to actually work through it, so we've stopped. So we're only doing Twitch. Which reminds me, guys, on the weekend you're going to see me playing some more Beat Saber. Just so as you know, just so all of you know. But that's for a later thing. Anyway, guys, so yes, you can follow us on all of that. Great. As you can see, this is why I'm like the personality, because I'm the lively one. I'm not on camera, unfortunately, because my camera sucks. But anyway, guys, you can check us out on all of that great social media. We are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So
Back
we're
next
visible.
Monday with another
Invisible Man.
episode.
Exactly. We're visible and invisible. We are the all-seeing, the all-knowing, the all-wonderful shit of the world, and you're just going to have to deal with it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. Fairy Fountains, thank you for being there for us. We appreciate you guys doing all the great work that you guys do. Geekoscopy, thank you for always hosting and doing all the rest of the editing that you do on the channel. Guys, remember, you're going to be able to find this later on here on Twitch. You can also be able to find it. I think Geekoscopy is going to be putting all of these up on all of the different places you can find podcasts. We will put that down in whatever links we can find.
Talk
Once it's available,
slower.
it will be everywhere.
I'm not going to talk slow because you know what? If the guys in Scotland can understand me, then so can everyone else. And that's just how it goes. But guys, as always, remember, keep it geeky. Bye.
Cheers.